Alright, so this is what I'm thinking. This is aluminum. I'm going to clamp this down. This is the 3/4 tubing. And then I'm going to clamp this down next to it. Clamp it this way. And then I'm going to try some practice welds over here. They said online, when welding thin metal, it's good to have a heat sink behind it. And they said aluminum is good because if you do get through, you won't weld the metal to the aluminum. The aluminum won't take the weld, and it acts as a heat sink. So that's what I'm going to try. I got to clean this all up after dinner. My wife just shouted down, dinner's ready, so let's go do dinner. Alright, we're going to try a couple practice beads here. If it works good, I'm going to try to at least tack 16th square tube onto 16th sheet. So we have 060 material, so 060 times 2 is 120. So we want somewhere 030 wire, like 120, somewhere around in here. And voltage wise, like 16, 17. So maybe we'll go 120 and 17. Let's see what. Alright, this is what I can't. 122, 17.6. I think we're going to start with that. Now, this thing calls out for 16 to be 207. And when I did 207 last time, this is the back side, you know, so I don't know what I'm doing, so I take a long time, and that's like actually like burnt through, right? So I'm thinking I need to go quite a bit slower because it takes me a while to get set up and see the puddle and start to move it. So I'm going to start with these settings. Alright, let's have a look and see. This is 120, 17 volts. I think this was like 140, and this was 165 at 18 volts. And then let's look at the back side. So it kind of looks like this is the 120 at 17 volts. But I think the time we get to 165 at 18 volts, that's like too much. It's coming through. I'm thinking I like the 120 at 17.5 volts. I think it was. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, this is pretty gnarly. This was 120. I went up to like 130. This might have been 130 higher voltage. That might have been like 19 volts. think, I don't know, but didn't seem like it was going too well. And the back side doesn't look too bad. There isn't too much burn through. This side looked like it was getting kind of hot at the end there. So what's the solution? I think I'm going to clean this up. I think what I want to do is turn it this way. My concern is spending too much time in burning a hole in the square tubing. So maybe I'll start up here, and if I burn through this, I won't care, because I won't mess up the inside of the tubing, and then let the welds come down. Maybe try that. Alright, so this is the part that I did in a, I guess it's vertical up, I don't know what it was called, but because on this side it's much easier for me to keep the heat here and weave more and go slow, and it looked like it did a better job. Let's take a look at the back side. Yeah, I guess it's starting to burn through there. Let's see if we can see what's inside the tube. I'll hold it up to the light. Do we see any bad stuff happening there? A little bit right there. Alright. You know, probably can get a lot better, but what I'm thinking, I'm going to do 133 at 17.2. Tack it laying face down, but then I'm going to have it vertical like this to do the welds. So I feel easier to keep the heat up higher and not burn the tube. I can relax more. Alright, so now let's have a look and see what it takes to do up a little bit of that. Alright, I'm thinking 17.2, 133, but I'm having a feeling I'm going to go faster just to fill that in for a little bit and see what it looks like. Alright, what are we thinking? Well, there's been worse things. Let's see what it did on the other side. Doesn't look like it did too much to that side. I think what I'm going to do is try to grind that. Yeah, I started weaving. You know, I started weaving here, but I think I just got to just go straight through there to not make a whole bunch of metal to get ground off. Let's try grinding and see what it looks like. It doesn't really have to be flush on this side where I'm going to weld it. It can have a little bit of raised. Alright, so this piece here is going to be a sheet. It looks like I can weld the sheet to square tubing. I need to practice welding 1/8 inch to 16th inch tubing there and here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll make up a piece of 1/8 inch angle here and practice 1/8 inch to 16th inch tubing welds. And then I can practice 090 like that. Alright, so this is what we're going to try next. This is how it's going to be, and this piece has to sit here like this, so I think we're going to roll this on its back. I just got to get another support from underneath here. So I think I'm going to set it up like that, and square it and clamp it, and do a couple tacks in here. And I think I'm going to use what I used last time for 1/8 inch angle. Now I just got to practice 1/8 inch to 16th now, so I got to keep the heat on the and drag it to the 16th. So I might just tack it. I find that I do better, have done better, when I go work down, I guess, instead of trying to go across. I don't know, we'll tack it and then we'll see what position's better for me.